Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi guys, my name is Azra Veriska and you can call me Rara. So today I'm gonna present to you about my analysis plan that titled Hegemony and Resistant, a social analysis of the movie titled Elemental 2023. So let's begin. Okay, Elemental 2023 is an animated movie by Disney and Pixar that tells the story of a pair of different elements, which is Ember. She is a fire element, and Wade, that he is a water element. They live in a multi-element city, which they live with another elements like water and earth and also wind. So the conflict that arises in this movie is not only about personal relationship, even though in the end it is, but also this movie implies social tension resulting from the domination of certain groups' values and norms over the others. And moreover, the culture, background, and rules in their city reflect a social structure of domination and exclusion that can be interpreted as a form of hegemony. This movie, for me, is interesting to analyze for the urgency because it depicts how the dominant group, in this case, and the powerful and socially valued elements of fire that imposes norms that limit interaction with other elements such as water and earth and also wind. On the other hand, there is the main character's struggle, which is Amber and Wade. They want to reject the dominant norms and open up space for diversity and acceptance. And therefore, this movie is relevant to analyze through the lens of Antonio Gramsci's hegemony and counter-hegemony that we're gonna discuss uh, moreover. So next is problem formulation. The first one is what form of hegemony occurs in the multi-element society in the movie Elemental 2023. The second one is what form of counter-hegemony emerges as resistance through this structure of domination. So in the movie, hegemony can be seen in the dominance of the fire element, which attempts to maintain social power by limiting the social interaction of other elements. Counter-hegemony emerges as a form of resistance from characters such as Amber and Wade, like I said before. They want to fight for acceptance and togetherness against the existent dominant norms, which is water and fire can be united, but they want to prove that they can be together by their romance story in the movie. So next is previous studies. This analysis different from previous studies that is specifically applies Antonio Gramsci's theory of hegemony to reveal the structural dominance of the water element over the fire element in Elemental 2023. And I want to focus on counter hegemony through the Amber Wade romance story and also the Firetown flood crisis as a war of position that also builds organic alliances. Unlike other analyses that more generally discuss surface like racism or pluralism, this approach actually emphasizes ideological consent through urban infrastructure and the internalization of norms, as well as resistance through hybrid symbols such as vivisteria flowers that can be grown in any condition, in any element actually, which have not been explored in depth in the context of Gramsci. So I want to take that as well. And this uniqueness lies in the integration of civil society elements like zoning and family prejudice with immigration narrative that did by family of Amber, which is her dad named Bernie. It also making it relevant to contemporary cultural studies in Pixar animation. So the previous studies that I take is that I took as far as these two. The first one is an analysis of hegemony in Zootopia movie by Pioneer Journal, 2023. This analysis analyzed the structure of hegemonic groups and types of hegemony in the Disney movie titled Zootopia using Gramsci's theory. But this analysis focusing on the political class domination that influences the moral values of the animal society. And the second one is Elements Don't Mix, unearthing racial scripts and a rhetorical economy of whiteness in Disney and Pixar's Elemental by Taylor and Francis, 2025. This analysis using a narrative rhetoric approach to map the rhetoric economy of whiteness in Elemental, also in the movie of Elemental, guys, by highlighting how the movie maintains dominant racial scripts despite touching on the theme of elemental segregation. So the last one is methodology. This analysis the methodology that I use is library research with a focus on the movie studies, the film studies actually. So I'm gonna watch the entire movie to understand the social and cultural context, and then also delve into several key scenes that show practices of hegemony and counter hegemony itself that explained by Antonio Gramsci. The analysis focuses on dialogue, character interaction, and symbolism that reflect the dominance of norms and resistance to them for the data analysis. For the data collection, the techniques is included critical observation of the movie and documentation of important scenes that illustrated aspects of hegemony and the counter hegemony itself. This approach supported a deep understanding based on Antonio Gramsci's theory as described above. Oh yeah, I forgot to explain the theoretical framework. Okay, so the analysis using Antonio Gramsci theory that called hegemony, highlighting how dominant power is maintained not only through physical control but also through consent and ideological leadership. In movie Elemental, in movie of Elemental, dominant fire element norms represent hegemony that sustain power through socially acceptance norms and the culture. And the movie also reflects the counter hegemony when other element characters attempt to change and resist dominant norms, like I explained before. According to Gramsci, hegemony is maintained in the realms of state and civil society, including culture, education, and media, that represented in the movie by social rules and values in the multi-element city. The contestation of hegemony relates to the characters' struggle to create inclusive space and dismantle social barriers. So that's all from me about my planned my analysis planned by objectifying the movie titled Elemental. So that's all from me. Thank you for the attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.